Hey guys, King Casey here. Welcome back to a brand new Fortnite gameplay. Today we are going to be doing the Getaway, a couple rounds of it, with my friend Nolan. So I hope you guys go on to enjoy this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to see all my future videos, and let's get right into game number 1. So moving on into game number 1 here. As I said, we are going to be doing the Getaway for this round. Pretty much, if you don't know what the Getaway is, it is pretty much a special mode where a lot of supply drops with llama-shaped diamonds drop from the sky, and you have to retrieve one of the llamas and drop, and then get it to the van. So we're gonna have some pretty good games this episode, I think. This is technically my 140 subscribers episode special. So I just really want to say thank you guys for that. You guys are really awesome, and just continue to hit the like button on all my videos. But let's just get into the gameplay. So right now, me and Nolan are going to the vault by Happy Hamlet. It's going to be a pretty intense game. I landed a bit short, so Nolan just tells me to land at the airplane base, and we'll take it from there. 2 other people are landing with me, so I quickly grab the suppressed pistol and the grenade launcher. I loot all the other guns so they can't get any weapons, and once I've cleared out the place, I got no choice but to charge in. So the first one, I managed to get that guy down pretty quickly. The Zenith just gave me a bit of a harder time, but I do end up managing to take both of them down pretty easily. And I just drink up a big pot there, and we begin to move out. So pretty much now I am moving over back to where Nolan is, so we can get a jewel and move into the van area. So my loadout, it's decent. I mean, suppressed pistol and grenade launcher are always good, but I am missing some vital guns like assault rifle, SMG, and shotgun. Obviously, are my favorite types of guns to use. But yeah, so now I loot up, I get a chug jug, and the supply drops land. So I immediately run over to go secure the vault, and I also managed to pick up a heavy AR also while I'm doing that. And I hear somebody, so I whip out my heavy assault rifle, and he goes down pretty easily without any troubles whatsoever. Even though he had a shotgun and SMG, the heavy AR managed to do enough damage to make it so he wouldn't kill me. But yeah, so if you don't know what the jewel looks like, it's there. I pick up attack, and I drop the stink pumps for this nice blue jewel that is on my back. And I just swap out a few of my guns for the optimal loadout that I'm gonna be using, and Nolan gives me some ammo for my new guns, and we decide to move out into the next into the van. Now the vans are above tilted, so that is going to make things a bit harder, but overall not by much. So I just have a bit of trouble building here, but we eventually do get the hang of it, and we decide to move on upward and start moving out toward the van. So I'm saying that we go for the ones a bit outside of tilted, but then Nolan says that it will be fine, just go for the one directly above tilted, which I believe him, so that is what we end up doing. And right now I'm just waiting on Nolan to catch up, so we can get going. But right now I just start chopping down some trees since I'm going to need materials, and an enemy has acquired a jewel, which meaning that 3 of us have jewels on the map right now. So then we get on a zip line, or we at least try to. And then we start to move out toward the circle, and this tree will allow us to get pretty far into next zone. And I managed to get on the tree here, and then we begin to move down and make our descent into shifty shafts. Now we start to move out into shifty, and this is kind of the more boring part of the game as we're just moving in. Nolan was hoping that we will win this. I'm not going to say if we do yet, but so we're just moving into shifty here still. We decided to chop down a few materials, and Nolan picks up the launch pad. I decided to go down and loot this little part here, and also I decided that this is the last video I will be using the pirate skin in, and I will be using my man the Beef Boss as my season 8 skin. For now, at least. We'll see what other things come into the shop. And I think I may use him in Season 9 also. It just really depends on what I feel like. But we use the launch pad to get pretty much right to where we want to go. I land a bit on the mountain here, and the van is super close. So now, we do another launch pad, and we decide to move it onto the mountain. And this is going to be really close. So we're below, and there's people. And Nolan takes them out pretty easily. So, but then Nolan has an idea. Let him take the jewel, and then he can just rush up there. But we get attacked, so we have to build up a bit. And I get knocked down pretty far, so I run to take cover and drink my chug jug. Which I love the new chug jug animations also, but Nolan says, I'll take the jewel, you get it up. So I start to defend him, and I just start to fire and move up a bit. I box myself in, and when I'm building up, Nolan almost has it, and he gets knocked by fall damage. So this is bad. So now I immediately run down to res him, since Nolan is obviously one of my teammates and I need to res him. And when I'm trying to res him, and I get noticed, so I have to build around, and eventually there's too many sides I can't take, and I do end up going down because of pretty much spray tactics. And we'll move on to game number 2. Alright, time for game number 2. So this time we are going to be with Nolan again, but he's rocking a different skin than last time. So now we are thinking of, okay, where do we want to go? And Nolan is saying Dusty. So I'm like, alright, we'll go Dusty. It can't be that bad. So, I mean, what could go wrong? But then we see all the vaults, and we actually end up deciding to go toward a lazy lagoon, which is where we are going to be landing next. And now the circle or the vault is pretty much like right there, but we end up deciding to turn around and head toward Dusty. And I'm sorry if I do that a bit. I do have a bit of congestion, so you guys are just gonna have to live with that. But anyways, I managed to get a tactical shotgun and a couple other things. But we hear somebody below. We jump down, and we don't know where he went, but he got knocked anyways. Yeah. Nolan is a very good player. If you don't know, he's probably one of the best players I know right now. So, yeah, go check out Nolan's channel. It is, Lunar. It's Lunar Legacy. I'll link it in the description. And I'll put it in the description so you can go check out Nolan's channel. But anyway, so this time the vans are going to be around Loot Lake, like a little triangle that forms around them. So now I decide to drink a slurp since it will obviously be helpful for us, and pretty much now we decide to move out. So we actually come up with a different strategy for this round. We aren't going to go and grab one of the jewels. We are going to let the jewels come to us. And what we mean by that is we're going to camp at one of the vans and just wait until people come, knock them down, grab the jewel, and then run away. So the jewels are starting to land right now, and this part of the gameplay is just pretty much me and Nolan camping. But the vans do end up arriving, and it just falls out of the sky. It just lays there. And I decided to pick up a minigun just in case. And then I asked Nolan if I can borrow any pistol ammo, because for the minigun I'm going to need it, and he will gladly give me some pistol ammo. Yeah, so then we decide to move into the center of Loot Lake to see if we can find any good loot. And so now we're just looking around. There's a shield pot, which I don't drink yet for some reason. I don't know why I didn't drink it in the gameplay, but now I get hand cannon shockwaves. I pick up said shockwaves, and I get another shield potion. And do I drink it? No, I don't drink it. I didn't know what I was doing. Oh my god, probably the most stupidest part of this entire gameplay. But now pretty much I managed to get some more resources, which always helps. I decided to not pick up the SMG. I thought I did, but I actually didn't. And now I'm still just walking around, and we're just camping the vans as it normally goes. So now we're just moving up. I see a blue AR. I decided to swap that out for my thermal, because obviously I like normal ARs compared to thermals, or at least that's what it is now. My ranking every gun in Fortnite video has swapped around a lot, so expect another one of those videos to be made by the end of Season 8. And I may grab another shield pot because I can. So now I am just moving around. We're still camping the vans at the Getaway, and I finally decide to drink that last shield pot that I said that I didn't drink until 10 minutes later. But still, no people have arrived at any of the vans yet, and we are still just moving around, getting up loot, hitting up, getting weapons, meds, for eventually when we need to steal the jewel. So now me and Nolan decide that we should move back to where we are going, and pretty much we start to look around, and we eventually find some new toys on the top of this RV here, even though I don't pick any of them up since I personally am carrying the minigun this time. But pretty much we are still just watching all of the vans. We're pretty much in the center of like the triangle that's made up with these vans, and we're just making sure that nobody gets any of the vans. I look on the map. None of the jewels seem to be close by the ones we can see, but we still are moving around, just trying to make sure that we end up getting one of these jewels and making it out of here alive. And so pretty much we're just doing the same thing as we always did. We do for about a bit more max. We did miss that chest, so I actually do pick up that shield pot. I was gonna say that I didn't, but I actually do. We're just waiting for just people to arrive. Again, most of the part of this gameplay is kind of boring, but it does get better from here. So now we're just waiting, and we don't see anybody yet from what it is looking like. That the van is above us is still intact, and we're just moving around defending all of these vans before the invaders come and try to take away our jewel, even though we don't have a jewel yet. So now we decide to just stay up here again and just keep guarding. I know I keep repeating myself, but there's really nothing much else is happening. And I also did want to say that I will be going away on Washington, D.C. with some of my good friends. So I won't be able to record any new videos, but I will have some scheduled going up, like a Floor is Lava gameplay. And we finally see people coming in. About time. So we're just watching. And I'm still watching them, but we do end up deciding to fall back a tiny bit. But overall, not that much. And we hear an enemy has acquired a jewel, and we decide to build up higher. And now we are contemplating our next move. We're thinking to go get the jewel and then run back to the van we have defended and build up. But we still end up waiting where we are. So, and no one plays Sounds of Launchpad, and we finally move out, but then we decide to go back. Yeah, I had no idea what we were doing here. And we just decide to wait. We see a jewel all the way at Dusty Divot, but that probably isn't worth it. And we see people getting up. We try to fire, but Nolan just says, let them win. We still have more chances. And they complete a getaway. There's still 3 vans left, though, and one of them is still yet to appear. So we're sorry about that one, guys. But we're still up, and we can still get a van. And we see people building up, and we're like, okay, it's now or never. So we decide to jump, and they just made the getaway. Now the last van that we've been defending this entire game is the last van that we have left, and I get sniped at. So I build a little bit of walls, but I end up running back up to where Noland is, since we know they're gonna be coming in here, and we decide to make a little base containing our launch pad and a few other places to where we can build up and see our thing. We see a person over there, but we decide not to engage. And we only have a couple more minutes left of this gameplay. About 2. Do we win or do we die? Find out. But pretty much, the final van is incoming. In the middle of the previously triangle vans that we had. We have one of the last vans defended, but we just don't have any more, we don't have a jewel to run up there and get it. So we're just waiting. We know that there's people there, and we decide to launch pad, and this time we don't fall back. We're diving in right into the fray. And now Nolan gets taken for a bit of damage. I get in here. I managed to tag him one time, and Nolan decides to build up. And I tried to get it, but I'm like, you know what, I'll just build up. And Nolan gets knocked to a heavy sniper. So now, Nolan is pretty much dead. I shockwave away, and Nolan ends up being finished. But I managed to get away due to the shockwave grenades I had before. And I can regen all the health I had thanks to the shield pots. But they are going to be on my tail. So I pick up some more pistol ammo, and I just get back and just drink my big shields. Which I do drink one, and one of them's about to make the getaway, but with the convenient help of my minigun, he falls and he gets knocked. Not bad of a play on my end, so I'm like, okay, if I can rush these guys, I can make it, but I wasn't paying attention, just running straight at him, and I got hit really hard. Only 22 health left. I try to drink a big pot, which I do get one down, and I try to get the second one, and I barely get it, and then then it's a mini gunfight. He's hitting more hits than I am, but he eventually builds up, and now it is getting close to the end of the game, and he manages to fire out my wall, but I just get hit from every angle, and I end up dying. Bye, guys.